Hello, all. All right, so my team is the Spotify MLH team, which includes myself, James, and Shidija. If you guys want to say hello, that way it'll be on screen. And I will share my presentation. Hold on. All right. It's thinking. All right, so Spotify for VS Code by the three of us. So we wanted to create a lightweight VS Code extension that allows a user to control their Spotify player from within their coding environment, something that looks really, really native to VS Code, so it's not distracting, and just allows you pretty basic functionality. So this is the team. I am a career changer who attended a coding boot camp about 2 years ago and then had to take a break to care for a sick family member. So this is my re-entry to coding. If everyone else would like to introduce themselves.
Sure. I'm Kshitija Jatan, a sophomore at IIIT Hyderabad. I'm studying computer sciences with an element of humanities. And yeah, MLH fellowship seems to be a good place to sort of get to know more people and create random cool products.
Hi, I'm James. I just graduated from the University of Oklahoma in December and sort of realized that despite having a degree, I didn't really have much to show for it on a resume and not that many finished products. And so I came into the fellowship to practice building things and finishing them instead of just losing them. Yeah.
Awesome. So Spotify MLH works by combining VS Code extension with Spotify Web API node, which James, would you like to say a few words about Spotify Web API node?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple library that wraps the Spotify Web API. It actually wraps another library that is meant for the browser. It's kind of, the typical Node thing where you have dependencies all the way down. But yeah, it's relatively easy to use without really it doesn't give you a lot of functionality beyond what's already in the API, which is good and bad.
I think what we discovered as we were going through this process is that the Spotify API itself has certain limitations. For example, you don't have access to your queue. There are certain playback limitations. And so we exported a lot of we kind of brought in the Spotify Web API to take care of some of that for us. All right, so the features in our extension: you can control playback, play, pause, next song, previous song, add to queue, all that good stuff. And you can browse your library, so you can look through your playlists, choose to play anything, your liked albums, followed artists, history, and liked tracks. All right, I'm actually going to ask Shidija, have you run the most recent version of staging? I might ask you to run it just because the first time you run a new branch, there's a really pretty message that you don't get if you're running
Okay,
it.
I can try that, sure.
What was that?
I can try that.
Okay, great.
I haven't done it yet, so
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, cool, I'll run it. Great.
There we go. So as you can see, when you run the extension for the first time, there's like a really pretty screen that allows you to give access to all of the information. And then it reroutes you back to your VS Code extension. Now I'll let Shidija walk us through it.
Okay, sure. So first of all, you have the play controls at the bottom bar. So for example, I have the song playing right now. I can pause it. It says attempting to pause and it will get paused. So I can go to the next song. Okay, I think it's the only one in loop. So I'll just play another playlist. Cool. So I'll go to the next song. It goes to the next song. I can go to the previous one. It goes to the previous one. So yeah, that's the basic playback stuff. Then I guess Lorcan can better explain the sidebar stuff because he had actually worked on it. I worked on that this stuff.
Sure. Will you split screen just between Spotify and the VS Code extension?
Sure. Okay, wait. So cool.
Gorgeous. All right. So you can see the VS
This
Code
is
extension, a little Spotify thing. And Shidija really likes Buddy Holly, guys. Just that's all she listens to on repeat. So if you look into each of the drop-down menus, they allow you to play the tracks within them. So you can click on any and press the play button, which is really just intuitive and minimal. You can also add things to your queue. And with the plus button, and then if you, at the bottom, it'll either play when the song's over or you can skip to it either in Spotify itself or in the extension.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so for example, we have these songs right now and I add this to the queue, so it'll get added to the queue. Where is it? Okay, it's over there. Cool. So yeah, similarly you can add anything. And you can directly play. Cool. So it started playing. Nice. And like you have history and stuff also.
Yeah, and you can check out playlists or albums or artists, both of which are more nested. So you can check into any of those, play those songs, add them to the queue, all of that good stuff. James, do you have any, let's get back to the presentation and then I'll see if James has any closing words.
Should I stop screen share?
Yes, please. All right. So now that we've seen what it does, we'll talk about the challenges that we went through and kind of what our next steps and ideas are. So first of all, it just took us a little bit of time to choose an idea. We are also working from 3 different time zones. So learning to work asynchronously was definitely part of our process. We also all worked with TypeScript for the first, well, I worked with TypeScript for the first time. I believe some other members in the team also, and none of us had worked with the VS Code extension. As previous teams have mentioned, VS Code extensions documentation is a little difficult. We also were working on top of our schoolwork and for some of us for our jobs. My big challenge was getting playlists, albums, and artists to have their tracks display because the way that VS Code's tree data provider works is that it requires get children and get tree item all to return the same type. But obviously tracks are a different type than a playlist. So how I ended up solving that problem was creating a class that was able to have children if it was a playlist or an album, and have different different fields depending on if it was a playlist or if it was a track. Would anyone like to talk about challenges? Things that they faced specifically?
I think the majority of the challenges is that the Spotify Web API has a lot of limitations. The biggest one is there's no access to the queue, which makes a lot of stuff difficult and controlling playback in that way. It's just people keep asking for it for years, and Spotify's, yeah, that's not happening. So there's that. The most obvious thing that impacts user experience is the Spotify playback API. Part of the web API only supports premium accounts, which is very unfortunate. And getting around that requires some very finicky work. Some further work we could do with this extension is to abstract away the backend and make it so that some of it could be based on the web API from Windows, or maybe even other libraries like LibrarySpot, which basically re-implement the entire thing and pretends to be a proper Spotify client. And then macOS offers an AppleScript API, and Linux has dbus as well. And then, yeah, as far as other work goes, we also have adding more playback controls, like being able to change volume, looping or shuffling, which you're currently playing, being able to switch different devices. The bottom bar, if you want to have something where you could show the currently playing track, or have the play and pause button toggle instead of having both of them separate and you having to just guess which one. Searching for tracks is a big thing we just did not have time to implement so far, as well as a now playing panel with cover art and track progress. And then finally, right now you have to log into Spotify every time you open the extension. Once you've logged in once, it's pretty much just clicking through and not having to worry about it too much, but it's still a little bit inconvenient. And we like to be able to persist the user session across VS Code sessions.
Absolutely. That is it. Thanks all.